on the Warmer family.
We sat right back and watched Melbourne steal their season. What a trip. It started out okay of sorts and quickly turned to shit. Fans did start to cut them rough. Membership cards were tossed. They pointed the finger at you-know-who. Our man wearing Lacoste. He really loves Lacoste. So let's go back to better times and stay there for a while with Damien, the sledgehammer too, the millionaire and his wives, the cricket star, the undresser and Carlton man, all trying to make Gary smile.
Don't flip your wig, fun cats, but the big daddy of footy shows is about to blow your mind. Now give me some skin for the Jimster and the guy we're all here for, Wolfman Gary.
To the 60s, it's going to be 60s all night, and we've done it for one reason, that's to make our man Gary Lyon a little happier. The Melbourne Footy Club flying in the 60s, in fact won the 64 grand final. We got some superstars from that team in the house, but that's not it. We've also got Lawrence O'Toole, world wood chopping champion. Gary's going to go head to head with him, as is the Foss. We got music, we got fashion. It's all going on. It's going to be groovy.
It's going to be a beauty, Jim. I'm telling you, you're an idiot. We also are not going to ignore the footy. No. There's plenty going on at the moment, including the whole Travis Cloke situation. Took a big twist this week and again today. The big heavy hitters of the Collingwood Footy Club met with his management. Only one man and the whole of the media was there with his cameras. Damien Barrett will tell you exactly what went down today with Travis Cloke. Also some findings handed down to the story. Damo told us earlier in the year about gambling in the AFL, so we'll let you know where that sits. And I also believe Frankie Valley and the Four Seasons are about to wander around here as well, so don't go away.
Have a look at the Richmond Footy Club, Gary. Frankie.
One of their big iconic stars, one of their new iconic stars. So a lot going on, Jim. We're going to just break with tradition. We usually go down and welcome him, but we're going to welcome him right now. A man who was about 30 or 40 in the 60s. So he's still with us. Ladies and gentlemen, the 300-game superstar from the Geelong Footy Club, Don Sammy Newman.
Look at him.
Who are you? Oh, who are you?
Who am I?
Yes.
You remember, sir? What do you mean, who am I? Herman Munster.
Herman Munster.
And Lily was my wife.
She was indeed.
And Ed. Eddie Munster was my son.
Yeah. Well, you remember the 60s well?
I was in it.
You were in it?
Yeah, no, I remember him very well, Gary.
You're a superstar.
And you're going to remember him well. Why is this so low?
I'm not sure.
Well, because your feet are so high. That's the problem. What? Your feet are so high, Foss. That's why it's
My feet? What do you mean?
Well, look at your feet.
All right.
Hey, you're talking about the 60s.
Yeah, what...
You were at the grammar school, of course, in 62, and then you first went down to Geelong in 63.
Right. Played against some of the people we're going to speak to later here that were victorious, and...
well, I'll have a look at this,
This
Gary.
here, Gary, now we'll... This...
There we are.
That is the VFL Premiership Cup.
Yes.
From 1964.
Brings a tear to your eye, Sammy, and we've got three of the superstars of that particular game in the audience. We're going to have a chat with them.
I played against them.
I know you did. I know you did.
Yeah. And all three of them look a hell of a lot better than Sam. I can't wait to get him up.
Hey, also, Lawrence O'Toole. Back in the world of sport days, used to get on there in the wood chopping and just tear it to shreds. His son is a world champion, and you and I are going to go head to head.
We have, Gary, and the most pathetic thing I've seen, I refused to rehearse chopping a log of wood. You are out there labouring, being told how to hold the axe.
That's all right, I've never done it before.
Well, I've never done it before either. Mind you, I did do a little of it in my late teens when I was at Timbertop, or my early teens.
Whereabouts?
Well, I trained in the Simpson Forest.
The Simpson Desert.
What?
The Simpson Desert.
Well, it is now. We thought long and hard, will we let that old chestnut go?
At the risk of
There
any
might
more
be
of them.
one person on the planet that hasn't heard that, Gary.
The risk of any more of them being released, Gary. I think we should get the panel out here.
Did you see he was out there chopping a log of wood a la World of
wait.
Sport? I refused to rehearse, and I'll beat
Lawrence O'Toole did the handicaps after we had a run. You're off 3 seconds.
Yeah.
I'm off 12.
Lawrence O'Dickhead, you.
Lawrence
me. And Lawrence O'Toole is the world champion.
Anyway, that's going to be on later. So
It is, but the panel need to be on now, and let's get started. These gentlemen are looking absolutely bang. And from the Bombers, their former goal-kicking superstar kicks us off, Matty Lloyd. And from the Kangaroos, 5-time Best and Fairest winning superstar, Brent Harvey. Oh, here he comes, a little boomer. All right, welcome, Boone. And rounding out this amazing panel from Geelong, Bill Brownless.
We're the moon.
What are you, Bill?
I'll give you a clue.
Well, turn to the camera first.
Where is it? There. I'll give you a clue.
What are you?
Someone landed on me in 1969.
The moon, Bill.
And then the people have been putting flags in me and trying to hit golf balls off me. Get stuffed on the moon. How do I sit down?
How's the moon going to sit down?
Yeah.
Where's your head gone?
I tell you what, unfortunately.
Righto, thanks.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks. Thanks, Spock.
That's all right.
There we go. The moon's gone down, Gary.
It has,
Unfortunately, it's a full moon. It would have been better to do it at the start of the month when it was just a sliver.
Yeah.
Well, it's lovely to have you, Bill. Good luck sitting through the next couple of hours on that.
We might change. The moon might be an eclipse, Gary. And we
To
might
be
just...
quite honest, Bill, your profile doesn't look a hell of a lot different.
No mirrors in your makeup room, dickhead.
Yeah, Lloydie, when you signed with Channel 9 to add some real serious credibility to our footy show, do you think you'd be coming out dressed like that?
Yeah, that lasted about 2 weeks, Gary, when I was riding bulls with Crawford dressed as a clown. 1 minute. Just never...
And
this show hasn't changed, boys.
You went and borrowed James's ears for the ears?
It was quite funny, actually, boy. It was when we won the premiership in 2000. At one stage, I thought I was holding the cup, but I was actually holding Hurdy by the ears.
Hey, lovely to have you here. Got a lot to get through tonight. Brent Harvey, he has a footballer coming out dressed as a Beetlebird.
Yes, guys.
Nice to have you, sir.
Going good, mate. It's good to be here. Other than looking like a complete tool, it's good to be here.
Says you.
That's another thing. I saw the Beatles in 1964 at Festival Hall.
They look like that?
I think it was called the West Melbourne Stadium.
Which runs Boomer?
Hey?
Which runs Boomer?
Well, I think he's probably George, isn't he? Or
Yeah,
well,
no?
it wouldn't be Ringo. Ringo had a moustache.
I know
didn't
two of them. Ringo and... What's that one we said?
Drongo.
It's hard to talk serious footy, but very, very important victory last week, Boomer, given that you'd let one slip the week before and they came back at you hard.
Yeah, they did. Similar to Port Adelaide the week before, Gary. You know, we probably lapsed for 15 minutes again. They kicked 5 goals to 2. So unlike the week before, we did get the win, and that's the most important thing, walking away with the 4 points. We just got to put 120 minutes of footy together rather than 105.
And your own form and the future, I mean, every year's a bonus when you get to the veteran stage, which you are, Boom. What are you thinking about in terms of beyond this year?
Oh, I guess just finishing off the year and hopefully getting a kick, Gaz, and I'll leave that stuff to Donald at the football club, the big fella over to your left.
Well, Evil Knievel.
and obviously the most important man, Brad Scott. So if they still think I'm value to the football team, I'll be sticking around. I love me footy, and that won't change.
Good on you, mate. Very nice to hear.
Now, Boomer, there was a melee last week, of course. I think 11 players from both sides got. Now have a look at Boomer here. Boomer comes in a minute. We've got him in the we've got him circled. Where is he? Wait for Boomer. Here he is. Doesn't get too close to it. Just pushes a couple away. Here he is, the big he-man, doing nothing there. And then he sees a free kick. He goes, I'll get a goal there. Look at it. Couldn't wait to get away, Boomer. No, but we know you're a hard man, and we got some vision of you here when you got reported for wrestling there a couple of weeks ago.
Bill, will you?
Classic. Not only do I come in and get make me look like this, you give me that crap as well, Bill.
The
Thanks,
moon's
mate.
having a crack at you.
Hey, Boom, very important game this weekend
Yes.
too. For,
No, it is against the Hawks down in Tassie. Looking forward to it. The boys trained well again this week, and got to string, as I said, 120 minutes of footy together. If we can do that, we can get 2 wins on the road, and then we've got to bye the following week, so we'll have a good crack.
Tassie Derby, get all the North fans from the south
North
to come up. And
yeah, it'll be good. A little bit of a rivalry, similar to Collingwood Carlton in that.
That's it. Exactly right.
Now we're going to push on because, as I said, Damien Barrett going to join us. Yes,
I'm just sorry, I just want to show you. This is actually a bit of fair dinkum memorabilia. This is a £10 note, and those boys from Melbourne and me, before 1966, got paid in these. I got 90 of these for the first 9 games in 1964. That is a £10 note. No one's ever seen one of those before. That's a genuine note. That'd be worth thousands.
Is that? I'm about to say, is that currency today? If you wanted to,
it's legal tender, Jim. That is the Commonwealth of Australia. We are still a Commonwealth, I believe. That is legal tender, and that is a £10 note.
Wow, well, nicely worked by you, Force, because you are our link to the 60s, so stay with us. And whilst we're on this, we're going to push through the games. Geelong, Lloydie take on GWS.
They do, Daz, and the Cats bounced back last week in Friday Night Footy, beating the Western Bulldogs. A couple of debutants for the Cats in Jordan Schroeder and Lincoln McCarthy, so congratulations to those two. James Kelly's also back in the team. Out goes Simpkin, Hawkins with a knee injury, and Stringer goes out, but yeah, I think they should win. Over to the Giants, Curtly Hampton's been omitted, Kennedy's out, and another debutant, Nick Haynes. They've played 37 players now. Toby Green also comes back in, Gaz. So down at Simmons Stadium, probably the toughest ground to go down to, Bill, and win. And you think that they'll do it quite comfortably.
Bill, what's your considered opinion?
Look, the Cats need a win and a good win. The natives are getting a little bit restless, so a good win here. But it takes me back to 1963, talking about the 60s, when the Cats won the grand final. Here they are here, defeated, of course...
Freddie Wooler.
Freddie Wooler there, look at him, defeated Hawthorn by 49 points in the 63 grand final. Some great names there like Sharrock and Wade and Devine, Walker,
Alistair Lord.
both Lord brothers, Polly Farmer, Goggin, Roy West, some great names there.
Hey, Bill.
Yep.
I think everyone knew they were in for a good day, the Cats, when they ran out onto the ground, led by Happy Hammond, who was the Wilbur Wilde of his era.
Here's the accordion.
There he is, playing the accordion. This is in the rooms before the match.
In the room, and now there's the captain, Freddie Wooler, John Devine.
There he is, there's Happy.
He did not run out.
He did.
Third.
Happy Hammond.
on the ground.
What for?
With the mascot.
He was excited and he left the accordion inside and ran out third behind the vice captain and the captain.
You're joking. go.
No, well, we just saw it
I
there.
reckon that'll go down the modern era when big the big boys run
Well,
out
that's
and
why I
happy
use
again.
Wilbur, because, of course, he's a passionate Melbourne man.
Well,
so
he
next
is,
time
yeah.
you're in the granny, get Wilbur out there.
Wayne
He would
Carey,
love it.
the great North Melbourne
Yep.
player, and they jumped in front of him to lead him out.
Yeah, I
How do you
don't reckon
Duckett
it
go?
would. No, not particularly well, Gary, no.
Meatloaf might lead Melbourne out. If
What's that? What'd you say?
Meatloaf might lead
Oh, Woody. Good one.
Melbourne ever. You'd be
I
dead,
got
Meatloaf.
3 over there that'll fix
Yeah,
you up very shortly.
superstars.
Now, we did say very hard to do serious footy,
Yeah.
dressed like the Phantom, but we're going to introduce Damien Barrett now, the #1 newsbreaker in the business. Damo, welcome.
Sorry, guys.
Spoke about Travis Cloke. It's been a very big story throughout the course of this year. 4 or 5 different clubs said to be into him. Today, a very, very big meeting was held with his manager and the power brokers of Collingwood, and you happened to be on the spot.
Yeah, we were, Gaz, and that was a major development in that Travis Cloke story today. He has become increasingly and growingly frustrated by what's been going on. He's sick of the saga. He wants it finished, and he's told both his club and his management just to get this deal done. There have been 2 meetings in 4 days about this. The second of those 2 meetings was held this afternoon at Eddie Maguire's offices, the Collingwood president. It was there, obviously, as was Jeff Walsh, the Collingwood Footy Club boss, and also Ralph Carr, who's one of 2 managers that Travis Cloke is using. Interestingly, David Cloke, who's Travis's father and also manager, was not there. But as you said, we were there, and we'll bring you details of that meeting and some interviews with the people in it later in the show, along with some other news.
Very nicely done.
What
David.
is the Warrior dressed up as?
I'll tell you what, he's not coming back on unless he gets into the spirit of the show, Warrior.
He's not dressed up.
That's not my go, Gaz. You know that.
Yeah.
That won't be happening. I'm a
Well,
very
it's going to
serious
be-
person, Gaz.
It's going to be your go.
It
so-
wasn't mine either, Damo.
Well, no, whatever credibility I may have left, Gaz, it
Purple.
would be totally gone. And
Think of me and Bill.
Yeah.
Damo, just before you do go off,
Look at the moon, will you? Look at the moon.
just before you do go off and find wardrobe, out of that meeting today, there'll be Collingwood supporters sitting at home. Are you getting the feeling that Travis is going to commit to Collingwood?
Well, as I said, Gaz, he's told his club and he's told his management in the past fortnight in a very, very strong way that he wants to stay, he wants it done. Now, the money's obviously not as much as being offered by Fremantle, but the movement as of Monday when they met first time and particularly today, it's heading that way, Collingwood's way.
All right, well, you get off to wardrobe. You're going to be back later with more news on Travis Cloke and a couple of other big stories kicking around. Damien Barrett, the best in the business. What are we doing, Jim? We can hardly hear. We're going to take a break. It's going to be a massive show on the Footy Show. Don't miss it. Don't go away.
Ground control to Major Tom. Take your protein pill and put your helmet on. Here's what's shaking tonight. Some seriously heavy legends from the 64 Premiership are swinging by for a chinwag. Whatever happened to the old World of Sport woodchop, I hear you ask? Well, ask no more, dudes. It's back. Wow, I hope St. Vincent's is open late. Street Talk this week is far out, man. At Reservoir. Any further out and you'd be at, like, Canberra. But next, it's Frankie Valley and the Four Seasons laying down a stack of wax. I'm wigging out. This is the most. Stay real.
His hair is oversized, it's like a rat that died. Some sort of Billy Cyrus trend. Belongs on Jerry Springer or any Crow supporter. Maybe he is Gary Ayer's friend. Walk like Ivan, drive a pedal van. Be a touch bogan, my son. There is a dearth of characters on this earth, like old sticks, curd and hay. Mud, blood.
Version of the Footy Show, Frankie Valley there doing some very nice
4
work with
hours.
Ivan Marriage.
4 hours that took.
It would have been half if Bill wasn't there.
You're the most uncoordinated man I've ever met, Bill. For a man who played league football, That took us 4 hours to do that.
I know, I wasn't very good, and I'm not very good as the moon either. I don't know what I'm doing.
On the contrary, you're sensational as the moon, Bill.
You must be loving Ivan, though.
Oh, Ivan.
No doubt about it.
Well, what a pickup he's been.
Unbelievable. He's the best pickup this year, I would have thought, boys.
I reckon, yeah, it's amazing. They were 15th, 16th for ruck tap-outs, and I think everyone thought he'd just be serviceable for Richmond.
Yep.
But he's changed the whole dimensions of that side now.
Already had numerous emails, Twitters, texts, people getting hold of us saying, what's the fandom got to do with the 60s? Gary?
Well, he did his best work in the 60s. But we also got this made 2 years ago for a superhero show that didn't get there. It cost $5,000, so we had to get it away.
Bugger it.
And I like it, so get nicked.
No, don't worry. So do we. Now, St Kilda take on Richmond, so get stuck into this one here. The Tigers, if you do not mind, haven't beaten St Kilda since round 4, 2003. Jaron Geary's out injured. Newlands is the player who comes in. And Jack Stephen doing a very nice job there with the points. Just the one change for a rampant Tigers. Day out with a leg injury. Batchelor's back. Tuck was sensational, as was my man, Little Jake, the push-up king, who's tearing it a newie. Congratulations to Shane Tuck, who has going to play his 150th, and also Jack Revolt, who is going to play his 100th game. So a round of applause for those two gentlemen. Now, just quickly, between 3 and 4 p.m. tomorrow, Centrebet give you the chance at $3.50 to have Trent Cotchin 30 possessions or more against the Saints. It's available only at centrebet.com or the Centrebet app on your iPhone. Max stake $50. Centrebet, don't just watch it, and as always, gamble responsibly. All right, Bill, what do you think's going to happen here? St Kilda, Richmond.
Oh, look, it's going to be a fantastic game. Friday night footy. Looking forward to this. Hope it's a full moon. And I think if it was at the MCG, you'd have to pick Richmond, but I'm going to go for the Saints at Etihad. Sorry, boys. I hope there's not a goal umpire like this in the 1966 grand final. Have a look at this goal umpire. Back in the 60s. Oh, look at him. But wait for it. Look, he gets up and he's got a broken leg.
Courageous
and then he's right. Wait. Look at him. He's gone down again.
He'll get up, don't worry.
The Coppers have come in.
I think that's Steve Stevens, his name is.
The Coppers came in to arrest him for overacting.
And the Saints, of course. We're talking about premierships, the one and only premiership for the mighty St Kilda Footy Club. Here it is, Barry Breen shooting a goal, kicking the point. And, of course, they won that grand final by a point over Collingwood. The coach was Alan Jeans. The captain was Darryl Baldock. Cowboy Neil kicked 5 goals in that game. Well done to the Saints. They won and only premiership.
I reckon Richmond's midfield last week were absolutely sensational, led by Trent Cotchin, who we all knew he was a fantastic player, but is a superstar now. And if they can produce that sort of stuff again, I think the Tigers will be too tough for the Saints.
The Saints have won 13 of the last 14 against the Tigers, and so I reckon they can do it again. The Saints will be too strong. And they are playing for the Ian Stewart medal, so it's something that's been an annual event, and Ian's going to be there to present the medal, something he hasn't been there the last few years, but he's the only player to have won Brownlow medals and premierships at 2 respective clubs, so they're both playing for this medal.
And of course,
inspired by our friend Molly Meldrum.
Yes, indeed. It was his idea. He got it up and going. And Molly, of course, was at the 66 grand final, just the maddest, passionate St Kilda supporter of all time, and fainted. True story, isn't it, Jim? Fainted and missed the point kick by Barry Breen and missed the final siren.
And we understand going very nicely too, Malta. He's on his way back. He watches the footy show from start to finish, and we love him. So all the best to you, Mol. Who do you think's going to win? Possible?
Well, now this
tough.
What?
A tough game.
Yeah, it is, Gary. It will be. Yep. If confidence is anything, if it counts for anything, Richmond must be cock-a-hoop. But we just have to let them earn one more week of playing great football. We'll go with the Saints. I don't think the ground has anything to do with it. It's goalposts at either end, and when you get your turn, you kick to one end, and I don't know why that's got anything to do with playing on the MCG or there. But I think the Saints, and when the Tigers get up... That's when we'll change our opinion about them.
Hey, Tigers fans at home too will be thinking we had a very nice patch during the 60s. This is 67 and 69 premiership years. The great Kevin Bartlett, your mate Neil Barr. Was Barney there yet? You might have been late 60s.
67, they won by 9 points, defeated the Cats, of course.
Don't worry about that.
Tommy Hafey.
Tommy Hafey in
Francis
69 defeated Carlton by
Rex Hunt.
25
Big Rex and all.
goals.
Wasn't it?
No doubt about it. Wonderful era for the Tigers.
There's been slim pickings for the Tigers over the past couple of decades. Only played in a couple of final series, but I think they've got it right. And I'm going against you, Fossil. I think the Tigers are going to continue on. So it's going to be a hell of a game, though, tomorrow night at Etihad Stadium. We're going to take a little break now and go to the most important part of the show, and that, of course, is Sam's mailbag.
This is from Morris of Ballarat. Dear John, a lot of people haven't got a good word for you. I do. Dickhead.
Yes.
Thank you, Morris.
Yeah, we all like that one.
You keep sending up the game and your supposed friend, Gary Lyon. Why not be positive for once? There are a lot of players in great touch this year and not once have you acknowledged any of them. OK, Gary, there's players out there, sorry about that, that have been in good touch. To make amends, now here's a new segment called In Great That's
Andrew Hughes.
Andrew Hughes' son, who is about to play league football, is watching. That's your dear old dad.
Oh, what about Gary's sons?
Yeah,
Well,
that's you in great touch, just five. You're just touching yourself up there, Gaz.
Yeah, good one.
Now, Joe Watson, he's been in great touch, more than 30 possessions in 3 of his last 4 games, second in the league in goal assists, so there's another player in great touch.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
That's enough. Enough.
Yes.
Enough.
Trent Cotchin. He's going well. He's averaging 26 possessions and a goal a game. So, Job and Trent, I salute you, and so does Gary.
Have you just dived into your own collection?
Of course I have. I brought them in. Come on, what else?
You've managed to turn yourself into the thinking man's Easter Bunny, Gary.
Oh, well, I'll bring some photos of you next week. We'll see how you go.
From Smithy of Hobart. Hey, Fossil. The sheep. What's Billy been up to?
Oh, this is
What's Billy been up to? Haven't seen much of him lately. Well, Bill's been busy. He took the train over to Adelaide the other week.
Oh, yeah. Where am I?
He did.
Yes.
And he was in a recent film called The Hunger Games. That's what Fatboy Slim's been up to. The moon.
Yeah, good one.
And Liberty of Morwell. Liberty. Would there be anyone in Morwell called Liberty?
Peter Siddle country.
Yeah.
And dear Sam, saw on the net some motivational posters that people hold up during marathons to help G up the runners. Thought some could work for Melbourne, Gary.
Yes, what are they?
Thank you, Gary. This is one of them. This is what people run like you stole something. That's maybe Melbourne. Melbourne could employ that. Gary's chubbed up.
What?
I'm talking to Jim. That's one of them.
What did he say? I can't hear with this thing.
I said you chubbed up a bit when we mentioned Melbourne.
Yes.
Try not to suck. That's another one.
This is what? Like they hold these
This
up
is what people hold up to get their friends who are running in the marathons.
Yep.
And you think we make these up? This is true. And this is another one. Betsy, we are proud of you, and so is Grover. Take a dump in your pants if you need to.
Come on. That's not what what they do, surely.
And racing car drivers in long distance events, they just
Le Mans.
What?
In any long distance race, they just evacuate their bowels in their driving suit.
Thank you.
That's it. That's it.
We got the address?
Yeah. Well, you're doing the address.
I'm doing the address. All right, well, if you want to contribute to this unbelievably fiery segment, you can do it very easily. Team PO Box 9, Melbourne, Victoria, 3001.
No.
Oh, look at that.
No.
What?
You were meant to do the address.
Oh,
It
come
says
on,
Gary
no.
and Jim throw to the mailbag
Yes.
address, and then I come back with saying, and if you want to contribute to the Great Touch segment, and then we play that again. So we'll do that once
There
more.
we are.
There we are.
Now, Fossil, last week you spoke to us about your Facebook page.
What?
How's that going?
Oh, yeah, no, I did too. Oh, Facebook,
Yes.
right across all this.
There you are.
Now, look, if you want to join in the conversation,
we are.
I've given tips on goal kicking and private advice about relationships and everything, and that's it there. And look, I'm getting back to you because I'm just getting the hang of it now. I said I'd never get involved in it, but we've had quite a lot of people ring in, or not, they don't, what do? They log on. And I actually wade through them all and I respond. So if you want to just chat to us about anything...
That's it.
Okay.
There's
I
the
don't
address
really know
there.
how it works.
What was the best advice you gave this week, Sam?
What's that?
What was the best bit of advice you gave this week?
I gave the first lesson from the FARC Club about accurate kicking for goal. And if you are having trouble being accurate, Gary, you might study what I've said very closely. You'll find it to be apt and absolutely poignant.
It's on your Facebook page.
What?
It's on your Facebook page.
I think so. I don't know what it means.
Speaking of social media, we have been smashed since the start of this show with suggestions that our man Gary, who this show's all about, by the way, we're trying to get him up, looks more like Grimace, the purple McDonald's man, than he does the Phantom. We thought I got the eyebrows right, Gary. All right, we're going to take a break now. I tell you what, there it is, little split screen for you. Next, Sam goes down into the audience with some of the legends of the 1964 Melbourne Grand Final.
Already 11 times pennant winners, the Melbourne Demons. Hassaman tears towards the goal, 6 points for Melbourne. And the Demons are on the march. Up they go. Barassi in there. Can't pull the mark down. Taken by Neil Compton. Compton kicks it towards goal for Melbourne. And the stadium's gone crazy. For Melbourne back in front. And there's the siren. Melbourne wins. It's all over. Melbourne premiers for 1964.
Footy show, great to have your company. Very nice of the boys to have a 60s-themed show. It's about the Melbourne team of today. But I tell you what, back in the 50s and 60s, there was no stronger outfit than the Melbourne Footy Club, including 3 men who have joined us, Jim, down on the table with our great man Sam Newman. 9 premierships between them, if you don't mind, including the almighty 1964 flag. So I'll hand over to you, Sammy, and introduce our 3 very special guests.
Now, first of all, this is Brian Keneally. Brian, welcome, and hold the cup up just to show that it's real. He's got it there again. Now, where did you play, Brian?
Forward flank.
Forward flank, and they were positions that you actually were told by Norm Smith, the great coach, to actually stick to. No, don't roam all over the ground. Is that right or not?
To some degree, yes.
Some degree,
yeah.
yep.
Bit more so than these days.
More so than these days, absolutely. And this is John Lord, and he kicked, I think... Now, you might think John has just in latter years gone bald. John was bald when he played. No, he was my hero. I used to borrow my mum's bathing cap and put it on and have kicked a kick in the streets down at Point Lonsdale in the early 60s. And you kicked a couple of goals, or am I right?
Is it true, yes.
Yes, from centre forward or full
no,
forward?
No, forward pocket and ruck, I think.
Yeah.
That day.
Yep, exciting days.
Good days, good days.
Great days. We'll get on to just where we're headed. And this is Harold Hassaman, who was just a legend. And Ron Barassi, the great man who played in 8 grand finals for Melbourne. 8, mind you. It's correct, isn't it?
No.
No.
No, he didn't win.
Played in 6 for Melbourne.
No, he might have played in great grand finals, but he
Lost 2.
Yeah, he lost 2.
Sorry, John.
I said he played in 8.
Yeah, that's right. I know. We're saying you're right.
Right, John. Yeah. You're right. I'm just testing you out, John.
So when I said he played in 8, you said no. You were just testing me.
Just testing.
He played in 8 grand finals. I think he won 6.
Yeah.
And Hasser, Norm Smith was the coach, and Ron left in '65, and you took over as the captain, didn't you?
That's right, John. He elected to go to Carlton in '65, and I was fortunate enough to captain the side then for the next 4 years.
And not long after that, there's, I think, is that, you can't see from here, that's Hasser kicking a goal. And there's Hasser again. Sorry, just the monitor's a bit far away here. Number 29, I remember number 29. And Norm Smith was sacked as coach. The great Norm Smith was reinstated, but he was sacked about a month after Ron left.
That's true. That was one of the debacles, I guess, of the Melbourne Football Club, in that I think at the stage we were 4 or 5 wins on the board, and then out of the blue, Norm was sacked. And
politics, mate. It's happening in rowing today, and it happens in every form of sport, Brian. Your heart must just skip a beat when you see what's happening today, but things are cyclical. It'll probably come good because every club eventually gets up, but it's not going so well at the minute, mate.
No, but I'm sure our turn will come. And
you reckon?
Well, I think they've got a group. They've got a group there, a good group there, I think, heading it up, and we're looking to the future with optimism.
Yep, that's about all we've got, I think, at this stage. Gary, yes?
Can I ask Johnny Lord, if we just go back to '64, Ray Gavlich kicked that famous goal, John, and it looked like that the Magpies were going to get you until Neil Crompton came good and kicked one late. How were you feeling when this one went through?
I actually truthfully did feel we'd lost it. I thought that was it. And then Frog did kick that goal, which is Neil Crompton. Came out of the blue. It's an interesting thing if you want me to tell the story. Neil Crompton came up from the back line because after Gavlich kicked the goal, Bobby Rose brought the back man up to the... No, forward up to the back man.
He followed his man up.
Yeah, and he followed his man up. Then when Melbourne hit the front, Smithy did the same thing and took Barry Burke to the back line.
Yeah.
Now, you'll see Frog kicked that goal that won the game for us, but the big mark of the day was Barry Burke taking a mark right in the goal line. Trevor Steer was standing there ready to take the mark and kick a goal. Yeah. Fingers came over and Berkey plucked the mark out of the air.
The late Neil Crompton?
Yes, the late Neil.
Yep. So it's fantastic reminiscing about all this, Gary.
It is. And just for the 3 gentlemen, what you do know and sense around the footy club is how strong the bond is of that group. Hasser, you get together regularly, I reckon, once a month as a group, those that are still with us, and it is an unbelievable strength and bond that you've still got.
We have a Barassi lunch every last Tuesday of every month. We have that probably 10 months of the year, and we regularly average some 13 or 14 players who played in the 50s and the 60s. And
on Tuesday?
It was last Tuesday.
Ron was there?
And he was there.
Yep.
And as a point of interest, last year, Trevor Johnson celebrated his 75th birthday. He came across from the West. We had 18 players there for dinner.
Did you?
Or for lunch that day. And between us, we had something like 55 premierships.
Oh, and about 16 knees and 4 hits.
Hey, Fossil. We need to just quickly jump in. I want to know from Hasser what it's like to look at one of your all-time greats dressed up as the Phantom. How do you see...
It certainly looks better in the red and blue, Jim.
And actually, the other thing, Gary, is that Trevor Johnson was known as the Phantom, so you were very appropriately dressed up like this.
All right, let's get a look at this game. Bill Brownless is going to get stuck into it. We're going to hold on to the Melbourne Legends. Willis?
Yes, let's have a look at the Essendon side who defeated Greater Western Sydney last week by 66 points. Jake Carlisle was the NAB Rising Star. Paddy Ryder signed during the week. That's good news, Lordo, for 4 years. Davey kicked 3, Cremery 3. There's 3 changes there. Slattery is omitted. Tate Pears omitted. And Mark McVeigh's out with a hit. Jenner for the Melbourne club, who are zipping 9 at the minute. And a couple of changes there. Seller and Bennell are out. McDonald and Collins. Sylvia back in. Come on, Cole. Kick some goals for the mighty D's. Frawley was very, very good last week. The D's have actually won the last two against Essendon. So I don't think they'll make it 3, unfortunately. As good as those gentlemen are there, and old JL there without the feathers, I like that. I like the bald blokes. But Essendon for me.
Yes, same for me, Bill. I reckon Essendon are easily the most improved team in the competition by a long, long way. So they'll get the bickies quite easily.
Yeah, I think that Essendon are the best side at the clearances at the moment, and Melbourne, it's where they're really falling down. So Essendon should be far too strong. But I want to take a look back at this is the 1962 Essendon Premiership in front of 98,000 people. John Coleman as coach. They beat the Blues by 32 points in that grand final. That's a good one to look at. And also 1965, Gaz, where they also went and John Coleman coach side. Yeah. They went back to back. Can I quickly just touch on something? One of our runners a couple of years back, Tim Biggs, he plays for Essendon Grammar. He actually broke his neck playing footy a few weeks back. So on Saturday night, there's a fundraiser for Tim, and Wayne Carey and Fraser Gehry are going to be at this function. So if you want to go to the VAFA website or Essendon Grammar's website to support Tim, his wife's fiance's had to give up her job to support him at the moment, so it'd be great if you could support him on that.
Well done, get along with that. Good work, Lloydie.
Well done, Lloydie.
Now, Gary,
yes,
we have had news in here of something that befell your family on the weekend, which we take very, very seriously, and that's, of course, the health of your eldest son. Of course we do.
Good.
Because Ben Lyon, who plays for Old Zavs, actually had an accident on the weekend and broke his leg. Now, there he is, Ben, on the stretcher. This vision was sent to us.
Don't make a joke.
And Gary,
this is serious
Gary,
stuff.
not only was it sent to us, it was sent to us with a note from his teammates who said, "You've never seen a more stoic man," as he came from the ground and had to wait for nearly an hour for medical assistance.
Don't make a joke of this,
Gary,
serious.
So Ben, we never doubted how tough you'd be, even though your old man, when it happened to him, looked like this.
Yeah.
So, Gary, in this instance, the fruit has fallen a long way from the tree.
Wasn't a bad break for Ben. Lloydie, no, he's sitting at home, he'll be right.
Did he actually think of you, Gaz, when he was on it, on the stretcher?
I don't know, he doesn't talk to me much, to be honest. But he's coming good, so that's right. Yes,
these Brian Keneally, John Lawden, Hassaman wouldn't expect us to tip Melbourne against Essendon, I wouldn't think, but just to say that they are part of a great era and a great tradition of the great Melbourne Football Club, Gary, and things will get better. So thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming in.
And it's a very good point. It is a very tough time, but you couldn't have more loyal support from the likes of these three gents. So it's great to have them in, to have a bit of fun with us tonight as well. Boomer, let's get us into the next game. Port Adelaide taking on Carlton Saturday night.
Port Adelaide taking on the Blue Boys out at Amy Stadium. Out for Port Adelaide, Stewart, and in Redden. Congratulations to Travis Boak, who plays 100 games. Let's have a look at the Carlton team now. Both omitted Collins and Lucas. Big in there. Chris Sharon's a massive in for the Blues, and also Matty Watson. Very interesting this week to see Travis Boak. I think Brett Ratton come out in the media and said that he would love a player like Travis Boak. So it'll be good to see how he performs against the Blue Boys. But look, Carlton have won their last 5 matches in a row against the Power, and I reckon they're going to be way too strong. So Blues for me.
Bit of value there for Port Adelaide at home, $3.05 on the centre bet odds there. But I think Carlton will win this one, just like they did in 1968. Have a look at this. This is Ronald Dalbrassi's first premiership as coach. Have a look at the crowd. 116,828 people there. They won by 3 points. It was an unbelievable game. Well done to the Blue Baggers. And well done to Ronald Dalbrassi.
Lloydie, who are you tipping? They weren't great, Carlton, last week against Melbourne.
I agree with that, Gary. It's a massive danger game for Carlton. They're not travelling that well, but can't afford to lose it, so I'm not game enough to tip Port Adelaide, but I reckon it'll be a close one.
I'm a bit the same.
Now, Gary, the Port Adelaide Footy Club and charity organisation Food Bank have come together to kick off their Can of Opportunity campaign at this week's match. You need to have a listen to this. If you've got any spare change and you're going to be at the game, dump it into one of these. All proceeds go to Food Bank, Australia's largest hunger relief charity. So that is a great initiative. Do I need to turn that around a little bit more? There we go. Oh, nice one. There we go. A little bit of television craft there, Willis.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right, so get stuck into that. Well done to Port Adelaide.
All right, now we don't want you to go away. Lawrence O'Toole, if you don't know, is the world champion wood chopper. This is Lawrence O'Toole Jr. Lawrence O'Toole Senior. We may have seen him on the World of Sport, for those that are old enough to have seen that. He is going to, Fossil and I have been practising, taking us on a genuine wood chop exhibition.
Yes.
Big competition. That's going to be on very, very shortly. Street Talk from Reservoir. You don't want to miss that, Jim. It's extraordinary. But Damien Barrett's coming out if he gets into the spirit of things and gets dressed up, and he's going to give us the complete story on Travis Cloke. That's still to come on the Footy Show.
What a lovely pie, me boys are 4 and 25. A lovely tasty pastry in a 4 and 25. Lots of lovely tender meat, the finest you can buy. Oh, what a lovely pie, me boys are 4 and 25.
4 and 25 and Cornish pasties and the rich golden pastry. Hoi!
Hoi!
Don't forget 'em, 4 and 20. Hoi!
Hoi! Oh, what a lovely pie, me boys are 4 and 25. Hoi!
Viva!
Welcome back to the Footy Show, 60 Soul. Thanks to Home Timber and Hardware, Australia's only proper hardware store, and Nissan Navara, Australia's most powerful tradie. Thank you very much. I had some news off the top with a man, Damien Barrett, who is the best newsbreaker in the business, but hadn't really got into the spirit of things. A lot of Twitter people thought he was dressed as Buddy Holly. He wasn't. He was just dressed as himself. Yes. But he's going to wander back out here, the newsbreaker, and if he's not in costume, Jim, he's going off again. No so please welcome the number one man in the business, Damien Barrett.
What are we dealing with?
Who are you, Damo?
Come on, Purple.
Well, it's meant to be Gilligan, Bill.
Where's Wally?
Where's Wally? Wally's somewhere.
No, what are you?
Gilligan,
Oh,
and you've never seen a man take more convincing to come out to get in the spirit of it.
Very reluctant dress-up.
You're my favourite, Dave. I don't think he had glasses, Gilligan, did he?
Did he?
No. Little known fact, he was very blind, guys. He was blind as a bat.
All right, well, let's straighten up now. This is big news, Damo, so do it seriously.
Well, take your glasses off and do it.
I can't see a thing, Sam, without it, so Gilligan is blind. So.
Gilligan, Damo. Travis Cloke, you told us off the top that earlier this week it really got going again, and then a big meeting today between Travis, Ralph Carr, Eddie Maguire and Jeff Walsh, and that is when the real sort of pointy-end stuff comes.
Yeah, with Eddie getting involved in the meeting at his offices today, Gaz, and what has happened is Travis has told both the club and his management he wants this done. It's increasingly frustrating him that it's got to this point, and it is affecting his form, and he's of that belief himself, and he's articulated that to the people today, and Eddie Maguire has now got involved, so it's reached the president's level. He summoned to his offices today Jeff Walsh, the footy club manager, and also Ralph Carr, who was acting on behalf of Travis in these negotiations. And the meeting went for about 40 minutes, and we caught up with, first of all, Ralph Carr, and then Jeff Walsh at the conclusion of that meeting. Ralph, can we just get a word on how that went with Eddie today?
I'm not going to comment. Just socially having a coffee with him.
Have you progressed negotiations?
No, we just socially caught up for a coffee.
You and Jeff Walsh? Yeah. How'd you go with that? Did that progress talks a bit? Yeah, and Ralph Carr and yourself and Eddie, and moved it along with talks on Travis Cloke?
We're always going to meet, mate. He's a pretty important player. Yeah.
How far away do you think it is before you might make a
not
decision?
Far. Westpac's only about 5 minutes from here, so I'll be down there very shortly.
Could be done in the break.
Thank you.
There they are, and the only one man in the whole of the media had his eyes all over that meeting. Not overly talkative, but it does appear that he's heading very much in the right direction.
Yeah, they want to get it done. It's the second meeting in 4 days. The first meeting included David Cloke, Travis's father, and also manager, equal with Ralph Carr in these negotiations. Also Derek Hine, who's the national recruitment manager of Collingwood. They sat in at the meeting the first time around. That was Monday, the first time they discussed the matter in a long time. Another meeting today, basically summoned by Eddie Maguire. That's a development. And look, Travis has clearly made it clear that he wants to stay.
Damo, why the reaction like that? Why wouldn't they just walk out and give you a bit of an update on where it's actually at?
They didn't want us to be there about it. I mean, they would have liked to have, had that meeting today and then released it in their own time. But That's pretty regular. No, you get a lot of no comments.
I didn't understand why they have to be so secretive about it.
Exactly. This is not the Nuremberg war trials, mate. I mean, it's not the bloody show jumping.
Oh, look, I agree, but that's what happens. I mean, you get so many no comments. Look, Jeff Walsh, before that meeting, when we spoke to him this morning, did say that the meeting on Monday, and this is his quote, it certainly moved forward for us on the Monday. Another meeting today, they were obviously tight-lipped about what happened at today's.
The good news, Damo, for Collingwood fans, is that the big man wants to stay.
Yeah.
So that is good news.
There wouldn't be a likelihood that all this is going great and then suddenly, a la Ross Lyon, an announcement is that he's signed with the Dockers, would he?
Well, the Dockers is the one club, Sam, of all the clubs showing interest, it's the one club that has got the offer in writing, and it's around about the $1 million, which is about $250,000 more than what Collingwood has got in its cap at the moment.
Dean Wallace is the other story we need to ask you about. Of course, not far away from coming out of the ban he was placed under.
It was a 14-week ban, JB, which took in the first final of last year. He's still got 4 weeks to serve of that. The club has had him in an administrational role since that finding by the AFL for him wagering on football matches. It's decided, Essendon, that it will keep him in that administrational role once that ban does elapse in 3-4 matches' time, and that they'll review his position at the end of the year. He's done a good job in that role. He's held it really well, and the development role he had last year will stay on hold at least for 1 more year.
Right, that is good news for Dean Wallace and the Essendon Footy Club. What about earlier in the year? You told us about an investigation into gambling by club officials that had been long in the process of trying to come to a conclusion. They've got the findings out.
Yep.
Now, we have in the past seen runners and timekeepers and players, and Dean Wallace, of course, being belted over the head with this. What has the finding been from the AFL?
It's the wet lettuce leaf treatment on this one, Gaz. Somehow this started in last November, and it's taken until late May to have a finding on it. 11 individuals, including part-time steward, an AFL ball steward, part-time recruiters, part-time masseurs. Average wages, as the AFL has said today, about $10. They've decided no penalty. They've got warnings. Adrian Anderson tonight has told us that these were low-level offences by people not in a position to influence outcomes, yet to me it's a clear change on what they have found in previous cases.
A ball steward, did you say?
A ball steward.
My God, it's getting serious, Gary.
It is.
A ball steward.
Well, it's a big turnaround the way they dealt with some of those other blokes, timekeepers and...
Hey, Damo, not often we discuss the contract of a player who hasn't played a game yet, but when he was the #1 pick from last year, big Johnny Patton, with the Greater West Sydney, where's that at?
Well, he's yet to reopen talks, JB. He's contracted at the end of next year. It's interesting because he was pick 1 last year. Stephen Coniglio was pick 2 and Dom Tyson was pick 3. Those 3 guys are contracted until the end of next year, but they don't want to open talks just yet. And that is in light of the club recently, about 2 weeks ago, re-signing 5 players beneath them in last year's draft, and they included Dylan Shiel and Tommy Bugg. So they've actually just wanted to park those talks, and it is interesting because they're the top 3, and Patton particularly will wait, I think, until next year until he actually looks at that.
Hey, Damo, once again, a very, very nice little package from you. Would you just take the glasses off?
Come on, Damo.
Just give us one look at a glassless Gilligan.
And I want to ask you, take them off. Now, Gilligan.
There it is.
Where is the skipper? Where's the skipper?
I did see
That's Hutchie's one appearance for the year so far, but he did it very well. You going well, Hutchie?
Well done, Hutch.
About that. Hey, please see Damien Barrett is going to join the skipper and they're going to go from here. Well done, Damo. Very nice work. Floydie on the roll. The Hawks take on the Kangaroos in what is a very big game.
You're right, Gaz. The Hawks got belted last week by 62 points by the Tigers. They've just made the one change. Hill, the younger brother of Stephen Hill, has come in. He's replaced Stephen Gillum, and they really do need to bounce back. And Boomer's side, the Kangaroos, they've gone unchanged, which is a great sign after their win against Brisbane last week. But just on the Hawks, Franklin's kicked 11 goals, 27 in the last 6 weeks. They're ranked 16th for their accuracy at goal, and it's just crucial down there in Tassie, Boomer. It's just a massive game for your side.
Yeah,
as well.
it is. We've probably dropped a couple of games we would have liked to win, but look, when you're playing Hawks, you never know which one you're going to get, because last week I had a look at that and it was a little bit different than the Hawks of old, and this week they'll probably come out and play some great footy. So it's it's looking good, but we're ready for it, Lloydie.
What can we read into Lindsay Thomas last week? He was due to play his 100th game, flew his parents in from Perth or wherever it was, and then he was a late withdrawal. Read anything into that?
Yeah, he didn't play.
Why?
Beautifully answered.
It was sore, I think it said, didn't it?
No, I think the coach came out today and said behavioural.
Behavioural problems.
Was it really?
Problems.
Yeah, what would they be?
News to me.
Yeah,
I've
well,
got no idea.
well, we might ask the President. What would behavioural
President?
problems be, Jim?
No, he was sore the week before.
No, Jim.
As was Jack Zeeble.
He wasn't injured, and you know.
No,
he was dropped
he was
because
sore
of...
the week before, as was Jack Zeeble, and we didn't want to take two sore blokes into the game.
Disciplinary
so
reasons
he
he was dropped. We want to know what it is.
The guy who came in for him, Aaron Black, played very well, so he stayed in the team.
He was dropped for disciplinary
You're telling
reasons.
me what happened?
I am, because the coach said he wasn't dropped on form. It was behavioural.
Boomer answered it beautifully. I've given you the real
didn't
reason.
answer it at all.
If you don't want to accept what I'm telling you, that's up to you.
I don't want to accept.
Sam, I can tell you 100%, mate, what Brad said in the press conference today probably got misinterpreted. He definitely hasn't done nothing. I'm in the leadership group still, and all that sort of stuff filters through us. And Lindsay is one of the hardest trainers at the clubs. He's definitely done nothing wrong, and he must be sore, Sam.
Cop that,
Yeah, exactly.
Cop that.
Sometimes there's just no story for us.
Don't lie to Herman Munster.
Boomer, tell us about this. Scotty Thompson, mate, he smothered last week. What is going on here? It was the old reverse back smother. Have a look at this in the replay. Just, he throws his back there and smothers it.
That's the triple turn pike that we've been working on down there, Billy. It's
worked well, mate.
something a little bit different, but very effective.
Smother.
Well, and we've got tips.
Smother.
What is it then?
You tipping...
Hawthorn, get out of the way of the
Kangas.
Herman, who are you tipping, Herm?
Well, I would like to tip the Kangaroos, but I just can't quite at the minute. Down at Aurora, the Hawks not going to. Well, Jim, I hope desperately that we're all behaving properly and we've all got games on our merits. And don't come in here and lie to us, Jim.
I haven't lied to you.
We ask why Collingwood can't tell us about Travis Cloke in a car through a car window. You could at least say, yes, there was some problems there and we've sorted it out.
At all,
well, the
Sam.
coach misspoke then, did he? He misspoke.
I actually didn't hear what he said.
Well, I heard
got
what he
no
said.
behavioural issues at all.
I heard what he said. He said he must have misspoke, did he?
What do you...
I didn't hear it.
Boomer's in the leadership group.
But
He would know if there are behavioural issues with Lindsay Thomas.
Gary.
Yes, he's not lying to you.
Yes,
got
he
something
is.
There are
flapping
none.
in your mouth.
Yeah, you have something
What's
in
flapping
your...
in my mouth? It's the bloody... It's
your
the
tongue.
mask I got on you.
What we do need to do, the Hawthorn Footy Club, because we're highlighting all the premierships. 1961, here are the mighty Hawks with a nice premiership win. Their first ever, by the way, in 1961, and that is great cause for celebration.
Kanga Kennedy and the boys is a very powerful side. They went on and played in 63 and lost to Geelong.
They did, with your dad was on the bench.
Yeah, that's right, but the very powerful Hawthorn footy side there and a very proud side. I think they're going to win, Jimmy. I think they're going to beat Hawthorn. What I do want to get to the bottom of, while we've got the truth serum out, you just about had a gutful of your president wandering onto the ground at training. You know that for a fact, Boom. And you tweeted a photo again on the... What was this all about?
Did I tweet that, did I?
You did, apparently.
Oh, okay.
He knows that they're not allowed on the green stuff. He says it all the time. What were you doing out there, Jim?
He was trying to find Lindsay Thomas, I think.
That's nearly 3 hours before the game down at Blunston Arena.
Boomer talk.
Mate, does that remind you of anyone?
Yeah, Happy Hammond. Happy Hammond running down to the ground.
No, I'm not sure, mate. We know the old saying, Billy.
Yeah, what is it?
Players play.
Yes.
Coaches coach.
Administrators?
Admin. Australia.
That's saying. Hey, next game to look at here is the Brisbane Lions take on the West Coast Eagles Sunday at the Gabba. Brisbane 14, 3 wins, 6 losses. Went down to the Kangaroos by 16 points last week. Weren't bad. Longest out with a back injury. Simon Black's a big loss. He's got a knee. I think he's picking up his baby here at that. Hudson, Pollock, Carnices, Beams and McKeever come into that lineup. The West Coast Eagles are going magnificent. Top of the ladder, 8 wins and a loss. They belted Fremantle by 48 points last week. Hams, Brown, Swift, Stevens and Lysette come in. Butler's got a hamstring. Luke Shuey, of course, with that one-game suspension. John O'Brien due to captain game number 100. Tommy Rockcliffe due to play game number 50. And Paddy McGinnity due to play game number 50 as well. Lloydie, who's winning?
The Eagles will be far too strong. Should be a belting this one.
Yeah, I agree with Lloydie. I think seeing Brisbane play last week, they were okay, but West Coast will be far too strong.
3 young kids, Gazza. 3 young kids last week played well for Brisbane.
Yep.
Golby.
Yep.
Yo.
Yo.
And Zorko.
It's interesting.
Yeah, 3 kids I'd never really heard of before, but they were very, very good. But you'd think West Coast will win this.
Yes, there, Herm. Well, Fossil, we're getting ready for the wood chop.
The most underperformed and disappointing side in the competition, bar none, the Brisbane Lions, and that includes Melbourne.
Bull dust.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
They're
That's
no
ridiculous.
good, and they're going.
No, that is not right. They've won 3 games.
Who they beat?
Well, they beat...
Don't worry about it. I think
GWS and Gold Coast.
West Coast.
Melbourne, GWS and Gold Coast. They beat.
That's right, Lloyd.
I rest my case.
You go on.
Gary.
Yes, please.
Now, this
I've
is...
got that book.
What?
I've got that book.
This is The Red Fox, written by a biography by Ben Collins. And Brian Keneally, Hassaman and John Lord have signed it. That is... The accolades from people who know on the back say that is the best football book ever written, so I'm just saying you can get in touch with the Melbourne Football Club or I don't know where else, the AFL or us or someone. That is a must-read, The Red Fox, the life story of Norman Smith.
Very well done there, Force.
Beautiful. You gave your tip, Gary? All right, we need to get to a break. Stick around the 60s footy show because there is plenty still to come.
After the break, we're going to let it all hang out. Sammy's in Reservoir.
Danger, Will Robinson, danger.
Oh, it's the 60s all over again. Money, that's what I want, and it is seriously up for grabs in Almost Footy Legends. Yeah, baby, yeah. And grown men with axes. This can't end well.
Missed it by that much.
So stay with us, Groovers. You snooze, you lose.
Welcome back to the Footy Show. Thanks to our very good friends at James Bogues Draft. We have the guys from the Airport West Footy Club with us tonight. And Boomer, Daniel Harris there with the Airport West Footy Club. There he is there.
Yeah, little Wombat, ex-Kangaroo and Gold Coast Suns player.
Yeah.
Good to see him.
Good to see the Wombat. Not only that, but always Bogues have $1,000 to give away to our panellists here tonight to the local footy club. Boomer, you don't have one, Boomer.
No, Preston RSL was, but no longer exists, Billy.
So $1,000 to?
To the Ponting Foundation, which is a great foundation run by Ricky Ponting.
Well done, Boomer. And well done to James Bogues. It's now time for Almost Footy Legends. And have a look at this one, Bundoora versus Northcote Park. And have a look at this mark here. He goes up, and away! Big Grenville Dietrich, look at him, bang! Good mark.
And we got the Maribyrnong Sports Academy training. Just keep an eye on the coach not paying attention during the kicking video here, Billy.
Oh, no.
Straight in the Jazz Crackers.
There we go, just watch it again. Oh.
Gotta hurt.
Just count them and have a look at this. Should be an easy goal here to the full forward. Look at it. He marks it. Gonna be an easy goal. And you idiot! He's done a Melbourne blind. Which one did you like?
Number 2.
Number
two for me.
We'll go with the crowd. Who liked number 1, the big hanger? Number 2, the kicking their knackers? Why would they like that? What about the big point? Anyone like the point?
Number 2, Billy.
Well done, Boomer. It's yours. Number 2. Congratulations. You won this.
Thanks to James Bogues Draft, our weekly winner experiences the pure thrill of taking home $1,000 cash, while our runners-up receive $500 each. James Bogues Draft. The pure Tassie water makes everything better. That's a fact, Jack. At the end of the year, our runner-up pockets $20,000 cash, thanks to Deep Heat Man, providing fast, temporary relief from muscle aches and strains. Is the stuff of legends, dude. Thanks to Home Timber and Hardware, our major prize winner drives away in the ultimate Trade-Ins Ute, valued at over $46,000. This powerful four-wheel drive is a Trade-In's best mate. It will help you do a proper job next time you pick up your gear from Home Timber and Hardware. It's all thanks to our great friends at Home Timber and Hardware, Australia's only proper hardware store. Peace out, brother.
There you go, the best prizes in footy, 20 grand to the runner-up and a listener bar for the best entry. So take the video along to the footy, GPO Box 9, Melbourne, Victoria 3001, or go to footyshow.com.au. Well worth entering. Like to have a look at the photos, of course, of our panel members when they're only youngsters. I was going to say little fellas, but Boomer Stevens. But let's have a look at your Boom. This is when you're a young tyke.
Have a look at him.
Nice one, Boom. And then with the great Peter Dacos.
That was out of Vic Park. Dacos was also an ex-player from the Preston RSL Football Club.
Beautiful.
What's the most goals you ever kicked in a game, old Hungry?
Got a few one day.
How many?
21.
Hey, while we're doing photos, Bill, Of course, this is the 60s show, so we need to go back to the 60s to see our main man, the superstar of this show. And we've got a few versions. Firstly, we got Wheelbarrow Fossil. There he is up the back there, looking very crisp. And then we move on to Surfer Foss. And then into Drummer Boy. No, there he is. It was a golden era for you, the 60s, Fossil.
Yeah. It was my best era, to be honest.
I think it was.
Trained right away since then.
Have you?
Don't say they're high board shorts. That's how you wore them in those days, because you had wax on the board and you didn't like to chafe.
Yeah, a bit of toe happening there.
Yeah, they're like a trunk. That's like they used to wrestle in, Mario Milano.
That's a bit of toe, I did not.
All right, let's get stuck into the footy. The Sydney Swans take on the Western Bulldogs. SCG, this one on Sunday. Swannies have won three of their last four against the Dogs. White, Armstrong and Mumford is a very nice inclusion. This man had injections in his back that got infected and he's missed nearly 10 weeks of footy, which is quite extraordinary. So it's great to see him back. These are just squads at the moment. The Dogs have omitted Justin Sherman. They have brought Addison, Cordy, Wood and Smith into their team, and Matty Boyd, what an extraordinary footballer he is. Let's just quickly say well done to Ryan Hargrave, who plays game number 200, and Heath Grundy, who plays his 100th game. Well done to those two boys. Phil?
Sydney Swans at the SCG. Got to go to the Swannies there at $1.25 centre bet.
Yeah, not sure why. I reckon there might be an upset this week. The Bulldogs are in pretty good form. Seen them play last week, so the Bulldogs.
The Swans have lost 3 of their last 4 without Adam Goods, but I think they'll just win because it's at the SCG.
Swans for me too, but beg pardon?
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, just an update on Harry Gary, the greyhound that we... the trainer, Malcolm, says he's recovered fully from his triangle hip injury. Trialled very well last Saturday, primed to win his next start, and we'll let you know when that's going to be. So all good. A lot of Twitter people want to know how Harry's going. Hey?
Of course they do.
That's he's back.
Don't tell him, we want some odds. Don't tell the
we'll get odds after his run last start. All right, Fremantle take on the Adelaide Crows. This is another very important game. Saturday twilight, Patterson Stadium. Freo Dockers, very disappointing last week. 5 wins, 4 losses. Adelaide got into Ross Lyon over there. They went down to West Coast by 48 points. Gibbertson and Jack Anthony. Crozier back into the side, or into the squad. Griffin, Van Berlo and Silvani out. They take on the Adelaide Crows, who haven't done much wrong this year. Dropped the game to Collingwood last week, only their second loss for the year, and they have made 2 changes. An important one. Taylor Walker comes back from suspension, and Shaw, McKay and Henderson go out their side. Unfair criticism, Lloydie, of Ross Lyon. St Kilda took a while to get a handle on his game plan. But, gee, he's copped the belting for the way they're playing.
He has copped the belting, considering that they're 5 wins, 4 losses. But I'm one who would love to see them attack a bit more and actually hit the scoreboard. 5 goals, 6 last week, Sam, in perfect conditions. You're not going to win many games like playing like that. And because of that at the moment, I just can't tip them. And I think Adelaide will be too strong, even in Perth.
Well, Boomer?
Yeah, big congratulations to David Mundy, who plays 150. Great effort. I agree totally with Lloydie. I don't think it's a big enough score to kick, and I reckon the Crows are in good form. And they'll win the game.
Fremantle for me. I think they'll bounce back from last week and they'll win this one. A low-scoring game. Freo for me, Sam.
It'll be the shortest honeymoon ever if the Dockers get a building over there.
You've got to be patient, Fossil. They have to have a degree of patience. They knew
what they have to be patient.
They knew what they were getting into.
No time like the present. They started off gangbusters. They beat first up.
They beat Geelong.
Exactly.
Who were out of the 8?
What?
Who were out of the 8?
Reigning premiers. They
out of the 8.
They've won 5 games.
What?
They've won 5 games.
That's what I'm saying. If they don't win over there against the Crows, who are going beautifully, incidentally. They'll run Ross out. They'll run your dad out of town almost.
David Mundy, did I mention this? Playing game number...
Boomer did.
Boom. Good on you, Boom. Thanks for that. I'm going to go for Freo.
Yeah. Well, good on you.
All right. Well, what we're going to do... Your hat's falling off, Jim.
Yeah, have you got a fringe coming out of the phantom?
What we're going to do... Samuel and I go and get ready for the wood shop. This is serious.
Have some more practice?
What?
You want to have some more practice? Serious
competition this is. Lawrence O'Toole, the world champion, he'll be off a lengthy, delay. Lloydo's going to do the countdown, but he and I...
Don't you give me a start.
I didn't set the... After Lawrence O'Toole Senior watched us in action, he has set the handicap, and you've got a fair start.
While you're over there, can you get rid of that bit of steak off his lip that's really starting to annoy me? Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
It's a
shit,
big
sorry,
flappy
Jim. All
bit
you've
that
done
just-
is put a wig on. I've spent 3
We're
hours.
going to go
getting
get ready, but don't go
Oh, come
away
on,
because
Gary.
it's on the other side of the break. The Woodchop, but also
Yes.
Street Talk next on the Footy Show.
By Jove! Reservoir! We're here to find out what makes Gary Lyon tick. And why Reservoir? Because that's where his dad Ross was born. This man grew up here.
In Reza?
Yeah, Reza.
Oh, yeah, Reza's all right.
What's it like growing up in Reza?
Hectic, bro.
Hectic. Shit.
Up your bum.
Man's leaned across the driver. He comes from here.
Does he?
Yeah, Reservoir.
Reservoir?
What do you call it?
Reservoir.
Reservoir. The man was leaning across the drive, and now he's gotten to the back for far better purchase on yelling at me. We're asking about this man here. We think he's
He's a wanker.
Whacker?
A wanker.
Wanker. Well, do you know him, ma'am?
It's Wayne Carey.
He's an idiot. Wayne Carey?
Yes, it is. Punch him.
Yeah. Is he a man or a woman?
He's a boy.
Let me just have a look. Oh, yes, the big boy.
And if you're a little bit younger, I'll take you to Fiji.
Take me to where?
Fiji.
What's in Fiji?
I'm going there for a holiday.
How are you, doll?
I'm good. How are you,
Bloody
sweetheart?
nice to see you.
Do you know what?
Just 1 second, sir. I'll get to you when I'd like to.
My mother wants to sleep with you.
I'm happy to come for a consultation with anyone that wants to take me to Fiji, if you want me to.
The cameraman can come.
Oh, the cameraman can come. Well, look, let's just have a look at the cameraman here. Look, this is the cameraman. Look, there he is. What do you reckon? Yeah.
Going to Fiji.
I don't know if we're in focus, but that's about as good as I can.
He's young
Well,
enough.
have a look at there.
Oh, well, wait. Thank you, madam.
Madam.
By Joe, my gosh.
My good man, this is a ripping supporter of the Demons, aren't you, by
Yes.
G. Pip Pip? Go out to Snow and have a couple of glue vines and have a burger.
And a nice wine, and maybe a cappuccino, a hot chocolate with marshmallow in it.
Indeed. Melbourne Footy Club should pick up their game.
Don't get the Range Rover bogged.
That's too true. But you can always buy chains to do it with.
Chains?
Yes.
We still
You put them on your wheels.
Oh, so we're going to
Up in the snow.
tie people up and
Oh, yeah.
manacle them to the bedpost, madam.
We only wish.
Hey, Sam, I saw Gary Lyon at the Tally.
You saw him where, sir?
Tally. I'm at the Tally, I saw him.
Where? Do you ever watch the footy shows? You get excited when he sees Hairy Gary, which is the greyhound.
He loves Hairy Gary. Lipstick out and all.
What's that?
His lipstick comes out and all.
Speak in that toffee accent for me.
Can you say that again?
Yeah. Say, by Jove, boys, why don't you go out and have a red-hot go or something, you jolly scallywags?
Bad Joe, why don't you go up there? Have some girls, you dirty bastards.
Oh, by golly.
By golly, Gary.
Sam, this is getting a real bit cold here because I've just been playing golf. Bend over to
Look at this, man's got the wind blowing up his clacker. Look, give us a look.
I'm talking to you and I'm freezing.
Look, man's blowing the back out of his stripes. Turn around. Brill cream, a little dabble do ya? Brill cream, the girls will look and stare. Brill creams, the girls will pursue ya. Simply little dabble little in your hair. That's from the 60s. Bro. I like that. It's a good laugh.
I'll see you next time.
Well, I look forward to that.
Yeah.
All right, off you go now.
See you, Sam.
All right, stand back, everyone. That's Peter. Don't. Holy mackerel! Oh, shit.
When I had her on the third hole, I had 6 holes of freezing my balls off, so I've got to go and get some new jeans, Sam. Nice talking to you. Aren't you cool?
Very nicely done. Welcome back to the Footy Show 60 style. Time to do some wood chopping. I need to introduce the people who are here. This is Lawrence O'Toole Senior. Absolutely. Legend. Lawrence O'Toole Jr. World champion legend. Gary, who is a tool. And Sam, who can't use his tool. And then, of course, we got Lloydie down the end who's going to keep it all honest. Now, listen, I'm going to talk to the legend here. Of course, back in the World of Sport days, Laurie, you were the gun, and you're still competing after 40 years.
Yeah, still going all right, but not as good as these young blokes, unfortunately.
Well, mate, what's the attraction here? I would have thought once you've climbed the mountain and you've got to the top, that'd be enough, but you're still going.
I think sort of any sports person that's been a sports person, if they can perform to the best of their ability at any age, they're still happy to continue.
Well, you got the vision of it there. You got the young bloke who, of course, dominates now. You'd be proud of him.
No, it's really good to go along and watch him win, so it's really exciting.
Oh, he's a big bastard too. All right, what we're going to do here, now you give them handicaps, Laurie, and I know you've done this. So Sam has a handicap of 3. What does that mean?
Well, he's first man to go.
Righto. And then Gary, shut up, Sam. Gary's on a handicap of 12.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? 12 seconds later, Gary starts?
Well, that's actually 9 seconds later than Sam.
9 seconds later, Gary O'Toole starts. And then Laurie, 25 seconds, the superstar. All right, we've got Matthew Lloyd, the Velvet Sledgehammer. He is going to get this started. And we're going to take this very seriously.
Give us an act. I got Jack's here, mate.
When we're going to give it mate, just be careful. What are you going to do with your stethoscope?
All right. I'm on the blocks.
You got to mount up, mate.
Mount up.
Mount up.
Face this way.
Lloydie, you need to get a starter. Watch out.
That way.
Face the other way, Gary.
Give us a hand up.
Larry told me that way.
Lloydie, give Sam a hand
Give
up.
us a hand up, will you?
All right, I'm just going to sneak over here. All right, Lloydie, to get us started.
Axemen ready?
1.
1.
You're starting.
2. 3.
Go.
I know, I'm getting on with it.
4. 5.
Oh, he's off to a crazy start.
7. 8.
About making an impact on the bloody thing,
10. 11.
Real ordinary
12.
start from the first.
30.
Now Gary's underway.
50.
That's a bit more
60. 70.
Gary's starting to work a nice big hole in it.
20.
Fossil's doing
21.
nothing. Gary
22.
with real meaningful
23.
plays. Big Laurie about to start.
25.
Oh, look at Laurie. He's bumped the crap out of it. Look at the big world champ. Laurie go nuts. Gary's still doing his thing. Fossil going nowhere. Laurie for me, Lloydie. Laurie O'Toole all day long. Gary's axe is stuck. Foss is stuck. Look at Laurie's turned it around. He's pounding into the block. Come on, Gary. Gary, something. Fossil. Oh, Laurie's taking the mick. He's given it an absolute smashing. Laurie O'Toole Jr. is about to split it in half in the most comprehensive win I've ever seen. Fossil's fallen off. Gary hasn't turned around. And Laurie smashed it. Well, no surprise there, the world champ, but let's see who wins out of these two. Gary, something, please. Oh, Gary looks to me like he's going to be winning. A little more, Foss, come on.
Gary, give us Melbourne's first win for the year, Gaz.
Come on, Gaz. Get the
Come on,
heads out.
Gary.
Here we go.
Come on, Gary.
Oh, this is excruciating.
Have a go. He's 68, Gary.
Apply some actual punishment to it, Fossil. Fossil, you're massaging that block.
He's gone.
All right, I think that's enough. We're done. We're all done. No. Who? Gary. I think just by Foss, that's enough. I think by absolute distance into the block.
I've got a knot here.
I think you. Well, let's go to young Laurie, of course. Who's had a cup of tea finished that long ago. Laurie, who do you think out of these two actually did a better job?
Well. Sam's still going, so I'd probably give it to him.
Might finish his head.
There we go.
Sammy, he's go forever. Look at this.
He's pretty stubborn.
Gary,
Mate,
at least you've got about an inch left. Fossil's, the log looks exactly the same as when he started.
Jim, we got some prizes here for
All right,
Lauren.
go on. What have we got?
We got the Patra fresh orange juice.
Keep going, mate.
The
Keep
Palaco shirts. This is all the world of sports stuff.
You want a
The
drink?
Bataki leg of ham.
That's it.
And a photo of Sam playing the drums. How lucky are you? Well done, Lawrence.
Here's the other Ferrari O'Toole Jr. Who is a star. We're going to go to a break. Well done, Gary. We're going to keep rolling on the fossil and see how long this takes. Back next. This is what happened in the break. Sam Newman, I think close to the most stubborn man I've ever met, kept going after it had all finished because he refused to be beaten, and finally he sawed his way through that bit of match. And here he is right now, the enforcer. Foss, how are we feeling about everything?
Where are we? No, that's extraordinary. I take my... Well, I haven't got one, but I take my hat off.
He had the whole thing done in about 15 seconds.
Gary, this is what's wrong with Melbourne, mate. You gave up. You've got to push on, mate.
Got to keep the show going.
When you face adversity, lift and go again.
Go some balls, Gary. Go some balls. Who said that?
Well, Gary, Bill, I think you got the next go, but no, we need to talk Wearguard first.
Donated by Weg over here. All these posters you'll see over the back here. Through the 60s, you can go to wegart.com.au and you can grab a hold of them wonderful bits of memorabilia. Let's have a look at the last game, Bill. It is Collingwood and the Gold Coast.
Well, sensation last week. Collingwood winning by 26 points. Have now won 6 games in a row. Out Heath Shaw with a calf, and Lockie Keith. Good luck to him with that knee. In comes Cameron Wood, Nath Brown, Seedsman, Ugle and Tom Young. Well done to Tommy Young, good luck to him. Beams was outstanding last week with Pendlebury, Sidebottom and Blair, and they take on the Gold Coast Suns. And a couple of changes. Zach Smith has been omitted, an interesting one there. In comes Russell, Hickey and Hall, and McKenzie. Where's he been? Look, you'd think Collingwood would win this one at the MCG. Twilight football on Sunday and win it well, I would have thought. Boomer?
Yeah, I think... also, fantastic show of faith in re-signing Guy McKenna, Billy.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic for the Gold Coast Football Club. But no-brainer, mate. The pies every day of the week.
I just love what Thomas, Beam, Sidebottom and all those players are doing in the absence of ball, and I think this will be a bigger belting than the Geelong GWS match. So I think Collingwood by close to 100 points.
Doing a very good job, Nathan Buckley. Samuel, no doubt about who's winning this game.
No, none at all. Who's playing, Gary?
Collingwood and Gold Coast.
Yeah, no doubt at all.
No, yeah, we're just about finished for the night, but on a sad note, you might remember Sean Wilson Miller, the young boy or young man who was in here a couple of weeks ago. One of his great thrills was to meet Joe Watson, of course, an Essendon supporter. Had 2 heart transplants and very, very sadly passed away over the past couple of days. So our thoughts and prayers are with his family. A very brave young man. If we could all be as brave as Sean, then we're going okay. Here, here. Well, it's been a very busy show. And boom, I mean, a lot of players wouldn't come in under any circumstances to get dressed up, but you have a great sport, so I appreciate that. Good luck on the weekend.
Thanks, mate. If I had a night like this, I probably wouldn't have too.
Yes, you would have been. Lordo, well done to you too, mate. Wonderful to have you. And Bill.
The moon.
Good. All right. Take the rest of the night off for us.
I'm going to sign this and donate it to the Melbourne Football Club and say you too can prevail if you just keep on.
You take that down and deliver that to the 3 legends.
No,
I hope they belt the bejesus out of you. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you next Thursday.